Hello, everybody. I hope you can hear me. Um, Welcome to another episode of the Magician series. I'm so excited today that we're going to have Latha Jay here. So I'm just going to give you a really quick little intro if you are not familiar with Latha and her work. But she is such a powerhouse. I love her and adore her, and we've been friends and working together for many, many years now. And Latha is basically where science meets soul. Her work is a magnetic blend of modern mystic and manifestation maven. She's a manifestation coach and so much more. She's the kind of woman who can quote neuroscience while leading a cacao ceremony. She's deeply spiritual and widely strategic. She's a coach, teacher, and creator women didn't know they needed until they hear her speak. So I'm really excited that you're going to hear her speak today. And thank you, everybody who's joining in. I'm going to bring her up. She's going to tell us all about the stuff that she's working on right now. And we're going to have a really amazing talk today. So let's go. See if this works. Latha, request to be in again, okay? Oh,
Hi.
there you are. Hi.
Yay. I'm not as savvy with Instagram as I would like to be. So I did my own live and I was like, how do I get Stephanie on this? I had no idea. So I'm here now. I'm grateful to be here. Hi everyone. Hi guys.
Hi, I'm so excited that everybody is here. Latha, we have so many big things to talk about, and I really
Of
appreciate you making the time. I
course.
love your face. I miss you.
I miss you too.
I'm so excited that you're here. I
You're
will
one of
be,
my favorite people. You're one of my favorite people. So when you were like, "Do you want to do this?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll do anything. Like, let's go eat pho. Like, I'm down for whatever."
yes, all of the things. So I, for anybody who's like joining here that has not watched a magician series with me, I have been wanting to have conversations and pick the brains of all of the people that I've worked with over the years through publishing, which is how we met. That I think a lot of people need to hear these conversations right now because I feel like morale is at an all-time low.
Yeah, I agree with you.
But also we're still living our lives. Like
Mhm.
we can't curl up in a ball and die. Like we have to
Not
keep
today.
on keeping on. Not today. And so one of the things that I really wanted to chat with you about today
Hmm.
is being expansive within yourself
Hmm.
before we see it outwardly. And when we start to see it outwardly, how we handle it. Because I feel like a lot of people talk about, oh, we're manifesting this and we're calling in that. And not a lot of people talk about, okay, what the fuck do we do with it once it happens? And we start freaking out when it shows up at our doorstep and we start pushing it away
Yeah.
and second guessing ourselves and beating ourselves up and like all the things. Or we start to see it reflected in haters, online
Oh.
trolls, mean, nasty comments that make us like really fear visibility. And you're an extremely visible person.
Hmm.
And you've definitely dealt with your share of haters. And I love the way you handle them. It's such an inspiration.
I always love on everybody, period. Right? Like I really take to heart the idea that like love thy neighbor. And I'm just like, if someone's gonna have the audacity to say something mean to another human being, especially someone they don't really know, right? Someone that's making free content on the internet, trying to spread love and, change mindsets and things like that, like me. And you're gonna come and be hateful towards me. I'm like, you got a lot going on in your life. And I have a lot of empathy for that. And I just want to give you some love and tell you that whoever hurt you, I'm sorry that they hurt you. You didn't deserve that. And that's it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I feel like a lot of people are really afraid to take the leaps based on everything that we're seeing and the world feels more unsafe than ever before. But spoiler alert, it's always been exactly
Always
what
been.
it is. We're just, masks off.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put it. It's about your own perception, but also like when you were mentioning about manifesting, it's really about the capacity that we have to be in the space of receiving it. So if we are seeking fame and being, outwardly focused or having, monetary wealth or being a celebrity or whatever it is, but we have a fear of being seen or a fear of being judged, well then our nervous system is immediately saying, I'm going to protect you and make sure that that never happens, right? It keeps us safe. So if you want more visibility, but then your nervous system associates the visibility with danger, criticism, rejection, you will unconsciously stay small. And that's just kind of how it is. Not even because you're not capable. You probably are very capable of it, but because there's a part of you, a very sacred part of you that wants to keep you safe. So expanding inward means you have to do the work on like, where do I still feel unsafe being seen? That's a huge question. That's one I answer all the time. When anything comes up, I'm like, ooh, where do I still feel unsafe being seen? Right?
Yeah.
Mhm. Where do I fear that I might be judged? Where am I waiting for permission? Ooh, those are the questions that always get me because I'm just, but it's like real life. These are questions that I've dealt with. I just got, I got a really big opportunity. It's coming around this summer. I can't really talk about it too much yet, but, when it came my way and I was like, ooh, can I do this? People are going to make fun of me. They're going to say I'm too brown or I'm too fat or I'm too ugly or whatever, their own perception. And I immediately had to be like, dude, chill, because guess what? There's going to be a brown, fat, ugly girl out there that's going to see this magazine and be like, wow, she did it. I can do it. Right. And it's going to be inspirational to people that maybe don't look like the status quo beauty, don't, aren't necessarily in the mainstream. And I just want to like focus on that as much as the judgment that will come my way. Absolutely. Yeah, I got it. I know that there's going to be so much good that just is a tidal wave that will outweigh that. So that's kind of the way that I view things and kind of want to move forward in life. Because the moment that we work on healing those internal patterns, something really interesting happens. Your external world starts to shift and you show up differently. You start to speak differently. People interact with you differently. Your ideas and actions are bigger and different. And suddenly the opportunities that once felt terrifying and huge, like this opportunity that I'm telling you about right now, secretly, feels expansive. And that expansion outside always mirrors the expansion inside, right? So it's like you have to expand internally before you can see the results externally. And it's the same thing with anything that you're manifesting. You have to believe it internally before it can happen externally. It's not the saying that I'll see it and I'll believe it. It's the exact opposite. I will believe it
Believe
and
it,
then I'm going
and
to
then I'll
see it,
see.
you know?
Yes. And I think like a lot of people also really doubt those opportunities when they come. Oh, this can't be for me. They
Hmm.
start thinking, oh, you know what? So and so would be so much better at this, or everybody's going to, see that I'm a fraud, or I'm, like this opportunity becomes a burden
Hmm. Absolutely.
when that it's really, if you're feeling that way about anything that comes, any type of opportunity or something that presents itself, it's really showing you like, hey, this is the exact specific work for you to dig into so you can, step over it and claim it, because I really think that an opportunity is not going to come to you unless it was specifically for you and you're the
Absolutely.
perfect person for it.
Absolutely. And also that desire, right? That little like idea, that tingle that won't leave us alone within you, that you're like, oh, should I reach it? Should I go for it? Should I try for it? Yes. Because it only came to you because you have the capability and the ability to achieve it. It doesn't come to everybody. Nobody has the same exact desires as someone else, right? It's very specific and very special to you. It only came to you because it trusts you. You have been chosen to carry that idea and that desire within you, to create it into to have it come to fruition through you.
Yes. And I also feel kind of called to point out that not to beat yourself up if you were afraid and didn't do it.
Yeah.
Like that's not going to be the only time that it comes up. It's
No.
like it's if the purpose continually knocks on your door, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it might knock differently. So maybe once it comes through as the idea to make like, I don't know, some kind of special shampoo, and then the next time it comes through as an idea to make a wellness drink, and then the next time it might come to you in different ways, right? But it's always going to kind of guide you to your path. I will say that there's no point in ever beating yourself up about anything. It's really not helping the situation, right? Even if you're in a low point, just kicking yourself while you're down, it just doesn't make sense. So why do it? I think there's always a power in retrospection, though. If you're like, man, I could have done this and I didn't. I should have moved on this and I didn't. That's not beating yourself up, right? That's like you looking at it and being like, if this ever comes around again, I'm going to choose differently. Or I would do this differently, or I would shift this differently, or I need to have X, Y, and Z prepared for when the next opportunity comes my way so I can take it. That's divine. That's amazing. I love it when people do that. But yeah, kicking yourself when you're down, nah, can't do that.
No. So, will you talk to us a little bit about finding your voice? Because you're doing a lot about with around visibility and speaking and stepping into
Yeah.
these new levels, and it's really inspiring. So, please, like, tell us all the things that you're doing, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am hosting right now a group program for women that's it's called Speak Her, like Speak Her. It's all about women finding their voice and being able to step into their power. Years and years ago, before I became a public speaker, I went through a similar-ish program that just really guided you on how to be a speaker, and then you got this opportunity to be on stage and to speak. And it was one of these monumental moments in my life that I was just like, oh my God, I can speak on stage, I can speak anywhere, right? Totally just blew open my throat chakra, and like I've just been unleashed ever since. But they don't have those programs anymore, really, right? So I was like, I'm going to create this. And I did. And it's been such an astounding success in the terms of the women that have come through this program. And our actual date that we're going to be doing this program is on March 14th. So we're like
It's
getting on stage on the
close.
14th. It's like next weekend. Um, it's been astounding. It's been astounding. Women have come through the program and just been like, I don't know, I don't even have a business. I don't have anything to talk about, da 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 da. And then it's like, okay, we're going through the processes, right? And I am not just a, hey, let's figure out your speech and how this is, the format of it. Great, you can Google that. That's not what I, like we're working on your voice activation. We're working on your chakra being balanced. We're working on, your emotions and your embodiment of what you're saying, you know of literally your voice being unleashed so that you can be heard and like totally self-expressed. And that's something that, man, once you step out of that box, it's you can't go back in, right? It's something that you're just like out in the world, and it's so magical. I mean, I think we've talked about this before, but like I'm very sensitive to people's energies and where they are and what's shifting for them in their life. I can see it, I can sense it. And going through this program and working with these women, it's amazing. It's amazing because I think that that's also why I'm so addicted and working in the self-help space, because I'm so addicted to these like sparkles and these rays of light that come out of people when
Yeah.
they have this moment, when they have that transformation, I'm just like, and I can always tell, and I'm like, oh, they'll never be the same. And it's amazing. They've up leveled themselves, they've quantum leaped, they're in this new space that it's so magical. It's so magical to see that.
And I think it's more important right now than ever that we're not, like shutting down
Hmm. Yeah,
despite everything that's happening. This is the time to be your most audacious self.
absolutely.
Because what do you have to lose?
Hmm. Yeah. The other thing that I wanted to talk about too here is that growth is uncomfortable, period.
Yeah.
It's so
It's not
uncomfortable.
it's not cute.
It's not cute. Sometimes it's sweaty, sometimes it's runny and gooey. Like growth is uncomfortable, but it is so necessary. When we say we want growth, but then when it actually arrives, it feels like pressure or a new responsibility or an expectation or whatever, a new level of even visibility like we were talking about. It could be any of that, and sometimes growth can be so triggering to us because the version of you that actually existed before this can't come with you into your new
No.
space of growth. So there's this level of grief You're like
Yes.
grieving your old self. It's so
Yes.
emotional. So much can come up here in the process of you expanding your own life. And then you start to notice, oh, wait, my old friendship, that doesn't work for me anymore. My old habit, I used to love to smoke, but I can't take that into my new identity. All of those things. And it can feel so destabilizing. But growth is so uncomfortable, but it's absolutely part of the process. It's needed, for you to be able to release what no longer fits you in the process of you becoming the ultimate you.
Yeah. I feel like everybody is hot for manifestation, hot for quantum leaping, but we don't talk about how lonely it can feel,
Hmm.
the destabilizing, the identity shifting is the hardest thing for your nervous system to process.
Absolutely.
And that's, when you're the part of you that's trying to keep you safe is starts reaching and grasping and clawing at those old parts of yourself, trying to soothe.
Hmm.
And this is like, if you have any wisdom that you'd like to share for helping people, I feel like this is the biggest part of like the work that I do with people. And this is a huge
Hmm.
part of your work of staying with that discomfort and staying in the identity shift and
Hmm.
not letting it drag you and not letting that demon drag you back.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it, right? Just like owning the space that you're stepping into. Absolutely, it can be lonely, but I want to say that it doesn't have to be. I've had these periods of time when I'm just like, that whole saying, it's lonely at the top. You're all on your own kind of thing. If you play into that, it absolutely is. And for a long time, I was playing into that. And what I had to really shift in my mind was that success can be shared and there's plenty for everybody. And when I had that shift happen, and it didn't happen overnight, okay? Really, I promise you it didn't. Um, it just attracted a different type of person into my life. People that were, in maybe different areas of their own journey, or that were like cheering me on or really wanted to see me have success. That's where I was like, oh wait, these are the people that I'm supposed to have in my life. And then all of a sudden, my best friend that I had for like 2 years at that time fell out of my life. And I had to look in that space and be like, wait, what happened here? And it was all in the space of just understanding that when I am creating this environment, that there's people that support me around me. Those are the people that are going to stick around me. And the people that don't support me and aren't aligned, they fall out. But there was a lot of grief, even in that end of that friendship. There was so much grief that I had to deal with. And that's what it is. But in that same process of grief, I'm so grateful for where I am now, right? And the people and the support that I have around me now. It's different though. It is different. I don't think it's all lonely. I want to say that. I think there's periods of it being lonely and then not lonely and then maybe a little lonely and then not lonely. So,
Yes. I guess sometimes, like when I've personally made the identity shift, you think that it's the identity shift moment is when, the universe is like, and here is your reward. Here is the thing that you've been asking for. But really, like, knowing that it's real is when that relationship falls away. And then I'm like, oh, damn. Like, I thought we were so aligned and this was such a great supportive friendship. And then when it disappears, then I'm like, okay, I've shifted. Like sometimes that, and there it is, it's grief.
yeah. Yeah. Um, I totally agree with you. Yeah, there's that space of grief. But then with any grief in general, whether it's like, the emotional shifting grief or like an actual someone bereavement kind of grief, um, it changes with time. And I think that
Yes.
you also get used to it a little bit and you're just like, wow, the first one, it's like, oh my God, a gut punch, I'm down on the floor. Second time, you're like, wait, I know how this works out, kind of thing. Third time, you're like, okay, wait a second, I kind of got this. So it doesn't necessarily get easier, but you are able to recover in a lot more of an efficient manner, I'll say.
My Scorpio moon's going to disagree with that. I cling really hard, but this is very inspiring for you to tell me because yes, I need to be able to recovering and like your inner champion of like,
Mhm.
okay, being able to like rehype yourself up no matter what stage of the process that you may find yourself, I
Mhm.
think is so important. And you're so great with doing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. 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 I because I've done it a lot. Let me tell you that. If someone goes to the gym every day, you're like, wow, their muscles are great. It's because they did the reps to get those muscles. And I feel like it's the same thing. It's like, okay, it's not, that saying, it's not about how many times you succeed, it's about how many
How
times
many
you fail
times?
and get up.
Yes.
Dude, I fail every day. 10 times a day, if anything. And I that's the thing. I just keep going for it and going for it and going for it. So when someone says no to me or laughs in my face or tells me that I look like a man, I'm like, great, I'll talk to you later. You just
It's
keep
so
going.
crazy because you're so beautiful. It's nuts.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But, there's always going to be haters. There's always going to be trolls. There's always going to be people that, don't agree with you or that your sentiment of what is attractive or what is beautiful. And as you grow in visibility, that's what happens. You encounter them more and more. And it's always a sign to me that I'm doing more. It's always
Yes.
a sign. Because when I hit a new level, there's a new level of trolls. They come out of the woodwork. And I'm like, oh, cool, a worthy opponent. Here we are.
I love that. And again, like I feel like it's like so necessary because a lot of people like won't even put themselves in that path or they um I had somebody send me a message not too long ago like with screenshots of somebody bullying them online and saying awful things and them like asking me about it and I was like we're going to talk about this because it's not about you, and you don't need to go into hiding about it.
No. Oh, you know what it is? When people see someone that is speaking boldly, that is living in their truth and their authenticity, is expanding publicly, other people get triggered, right? Because
Yes.
it's their fears and their insecurities that start to come up, and then that feels like, ooh, you know, and it comes out as who does she think she is to do this? What is she doing? But internally, they're just like, ooh, ooh, ooh. They're stuck in their unexpressed dreams, and they see someone else living their dream, living in their self-expression, and it just eats them up on the inside. The only thing that they can do is be shitty outside. It's like their only, I don't know, they feel like it's better, but it's absolutely a projection of that own self-hatred and criticism that then is coming out. And of course, not everyone's going to resonate with your message or what you have to say or how you look or
Right.
whatever. And
Right.
it's not your job to convince either. It's
No.
okay that they have their own
Yes.
opinion.
Yes. And that's, you have agency over how you choose to engage
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
or not, and
Or not.
always block them and keep it moving.
Oh yeah. I've done that a couple times too. But a lot of times I'm always just like, let's see where this goes. Let's
This is what I love about yes, like say all the things. Like you have just a really, I guess like audacious aura about you. And
Yeah.
it's very inspiring and you're also a person that I have found to be a trustworthy person to engage with on the internet because we have actually never met in person despite
I
having worked
don't
together and
Yeah, I don't believe that. I feel like
I know.
we're besties, girl. Like I don't know. Anytime I think about that, I'm like, that's not true. That's not
No,
true.
like it's so weird that we haven't actually met in person, but I
Hmm.
guess like there's what is it called? Like parasocial
Hmm.
relationships and like translating those into actual relationships. Like you never know because everything is very curated online.
Hmm.
You never really know what you're getting into with people and like who you can
Absolutely.
actually trust and people really want to connect. Like community is part of the missing link. like real,
Absolutely.
genuine, authentic connection.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? That's actually one of the reasons that I host retreats because I feel like I had just made a video about this too, about really creating friendships and how even like a baseline friendship, it takes like 20 hours for you to kind of get to know somebody. To create like a bestie situation or like closer friends, 50 hours. To become like, wow, this is my person, 200 plus hours. Right. And it's like, we spend our lives on the internet. Like, we don't even, I mean, I can't even say that I socialize with my friends in real life a few hours a month kind of thing, right? We're always there for each other, supporting each other, but it's like, when do we really take the time? Or, I'm a mom, you're a mom, like, or like being with my friends without my kids rarely ever happens. So it's just like it's a new dynamic, and really building and creating those friendships. I find the largest majority of my friends I've met through retreats and events and things like that, because it's we have the time there to then get to know each other and to bond and to spend that quality time and to build those connections and relationships.
Um, I think it's really important that you mentioned all of that, because I think a lot of times people, something I hear from clients in my real world travels and just on the internet, people saying that it's hard to make friends.
Yeah, it's hard to be lonely too. It's all hard. You pick your heart.
But like putting yourself in the situations that you find the most nurturing and most joyful
Mhm.
is where, the universe aligns you with those people.
Mhm. Yeah. And I totally get why people think it's hard. I'll say that it takes bold action,
Yes.
you know?
Yes. I was going to say, like,
And
you have to, like,
you
get
have
out from
to.
behind, your
Mhm.
screen, or take it from the screen into something else.
Absolutely. And then, if someone doesn't text you back, don't freak out about it. I mean, I have so many friends that I'm like, hey, I'll coordinate an event, and it's like, you're gonna come, you're gonna not. I don't care. I'll still invite you next month. Like, it doesn't, I don't take it personally if you're gonna come or not. Especially a lot of my friends are mom friends. And I'm like, someone probably, threw up in the car and it just was a situation. I have a lot of forgiveness for it, but just keep it moving. And it's like, I always have trust that the people that are supposed to be aligned in my life are going to be in my life, period. And then that's just kind of how I function. But I was saying, like, everything is hard. It's hard for me to be lonely. It's hard for me to make friends. It's hard for me to. So I pick to make friends. I'm sure if I'm going to be putting an effort towards something or feeling something is difficult in my life, I want to be in the space of making friends. And that's, kind of what it is. But also, I'm like very much a Libra, so I'm just like I need social in my life. Like I need my friends, I need humans to connect with. And for a while, I lived on a farm. I think we met when I was living on the farm, actually.
Yeah.
Yes, because I was pregnant with my baby. Um, and that just did not work out. Not because I didn't love nature or the farm or anything like that. It's because we were hours from another human being. And I was like, oh, this is too hard for me. This is too hard for me. I don't think I can connect. I don't think I can exist in this place, right? I don't want to exist in a place where I'm so isolated, nomadic from other people, because there's so much power that I can have and exchange, and so much I can give and receive from a community and other people around me, that it's vital. It's vital to us that, you know, that we are in a space, in a community, in a village. Like, it does take a village. It takes a village for everything. And not only for child rearing, yes, but just for you to exist, it takes a lot of help and a lot of support from others. And I think more and more people want to be, or afraid to ask for help, or afraid to, like, you know, be a nuisance to someone else.
Mm.
Man, if I need help, everybody's getting a text message. Hey, I actually texted my friend today. I was like, I can't fit behind my washer to like plug it in, but my friend is a very small Asian person, and I was like, do you think that you would come over and like literally shimmy your? And she said, yeah, she's coming over. Like,
That's amazing.
so yeah, she's gonna help me hook up my washer dryer.
That's fabulous. Thank you, friend.
Yes, love her. Yes.
I think too, like what you were saying about like when you lived on the farm, I was thinking about like that was where, you incubated your last child, and like maybe it
Mhm.
wasn't the perfect place for you socially, but maybe it was just the space for that season of life. Like I think about, I move a lot, you move a lot, we have that in common. And I
Mhm.
think that just like friendships and people and teachers come into your life for different seasons as guides, I feel like where you live or places that like you visit, your physical spaces are also.
Absolutely, 100%. And that farm was the perfect spot for us to be for our little babies. We had two other little babies at the time, and then I was pregnant with my third. And it was the perfect spot. Beautiful farm, like gorgeous for us to be in touch with nature. And the kids would, pick up these like frogs and bugs and everything. I was like, wonderful. I love that for you. And just to be, connected and away from the noise. And this was like prime pandemic time where I had
Yeah.
high anxiety. Everybody had high anxiety. I can't even just say it was me. It was who knew what the world was coming to. I was scared a lot of times. And then to be pregnant through this and to, be having a baby and bringing life into the world, I had a lot of feelings. And, to be able to be a little bit isolated, I think was super beneficial at that time. But then by the time she was born, I was just like, we gotta get out of here. you know, we good. Incubation done. Let's go, kind of thing. So
Yeah, I was in Denver when
that's right.
yeah, I moved to Denver 2 months into my pregnancy, and the house we ended up moving into was like I could walk to the hospital that I gave birth in. And like it's a very hippie town. Like basically the nurses are like more midwives than
Mhm.
like it didn't feel like a hot, like I was in, like it had this huge tub, and it was a
Awesome.
beautiful experience. And then like her first year of life was there, and I could walk to different activities, and I would take her to all these great things to meet other moms, and they
Mhm.
all the moms I connected with ended up living basically in my neighborhood, even though
That's
I would go to
awesome.
something across town, and then the person, we'd like, oh, let's exchange numbers. Where do you live? Oh, are we a mile from one another? Like that's freaking crazy. So all these people came, like it all came together perfectly, and then I knew, and I felt it in my body the moment that it was time to leave and
Oh yeah.
be on the next journey.
Yep.
So that's another like sign of, when you're up leveling. So there's all sorts of things that may not make sense on paper,
Hmm.
and you may fear a lot of judgment about.
Oh my gosh, yes. My parents thought I was crazy for like the frequency with which we moved. And we moved probably, I mean, every 2 to 3 years easily. Sometimes it was like 18 months that we
Hmm.
would like move. And it was, I mean, like outwardly, you're like, what? You have these small children, you're picking them up, you're moving them around, and we moved everywhere from Florida up to Buffalo to in New York. Like we moved everywhere around. We spent some time in Tennessee. But it was just like we're looking for a feeling, for a space of community, for something that is meaningful to us, to what we want to create and cultivate for our family. And it took us a long time to find it. Now we're in the Pocono Mountains in Pennsylvania, and I think we're pretty close to, to what we were looking for such a long time. This is the longest we've lived anywhere. We've lived here now for almost 3 years. It'll be 3 years this summer. And I like it. I like it a lot. I like, and a large portion of why I like it is because the community here. I have an amazing community. Amazing.
That's awesome. That's so good to
You should
hear. And
come visit. Bring baby and husband too. He can come too.
he can come too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. We love him. No, he loves to. My husband loves to cook, so I think him and your husband would have a lot
Really?
to chat about. Yeah, we'll
Oh
make
my
them cook
gosh.
for us, and
Yeah, perfect.
we'll be.
We can go swimming. I have a really nice pool, so we can go swimming and hang out.
I love it.
Come
I love
on.
it. Oh, so your retreat is coming up. Like you're
Yes.
doing a retreat. You're like always doing a retreat. I'm like telling myself, okay, I want to be involved in your retreats as soon as I'm out of like this season of motherhood. And I'm still waiting for that
You let me
season
know.
to
You let
where
me know.
I feel more comfortable being a
Yeah.
part.
Yeah, so I'm going to Bali, and I totally get that too. Let me not overstep that. I totally get what you're saying because there was such a long time that I just felt like is not for me. I can't do, my retreats and stuff like that. And there was even one year that after I had my last baby, I took her with me to the retreat. I had my whole family come with me because I was like, that space of motherhood, and not everybody has
Yeah.
the, funds, capacity, space to do that. But I was like, I can't leave her. She was like 6 months old, and I had this retreat coming up. So literally, I would work the retreat for like 10, 12, 15 hours, days sometimes, go back to the hotel where my husband and my kids were, breastfeed her, be with her, it's like pumping throughout the day. I had one of those, I don't know what they're called anymore, but it was like in your bra pump, like you
Yeah.
just stick it in your bra and like,
Yep. It's just like,
yeah. And and then I'd like bottle it up and, put it in the fridge, all while in like 90-degree weather in Costa Rica in the middle of a jungle, like
of
just
course.
doing what it fucking took to like, make it happen. And I just don't think that that's realistic for anybody. You know, I did it and I don't think that that's realistic. I would never recommend that to anybody else. Like, hey, you got a little baby, you should just do this and pump and do this. And no.
But everybody, like, that's, you were talking about like taking action on your big audacious dreams and goals and things and opportunities that even if it feels like, oh my God, this can't be happening because this doesn't feel like the right time. But when you're really committed to it, you
Mhm.
find a way to move mountains.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One of the reasons that I did all of those things to like make that happen was because I believe so strongly in what I'm creating and what
Yeah.
I was cultivating in that moment. So I was like, nothing will stop me. We will figure this out. We're gonna take the whole fam to Costa Rica. We're gonna make this happen. And they had an incredible time, right? The baby was well cared for. I brought my mother-in-law too. She helped. My husband's like such a beautiful, nurturing dad. Like he was there with the baby the whole time. My kids were there. Everybody's having a fun time. They're going to the beach. They're like living it up. And I'm still able to hold this beautiful space for all of these, people that had come through to have this immersive, beautiful experience in Costa Rica. It was such a blessing to be able to do that. And now we're headed to Bali. The next trip I have is in September. We're going to Bali. I'm over the moon excited about it. One of the biggest things for me when I create a retreat is that it has to be with local people. I want to work with the indigenous. I want to work with the people that are there. I want to work with the local people. I have very little interest in shipping someone into a space that they're not native into, right? I don't want to fly anybody in. I'm not, that's not
Yeah.
meant to be there in that moment. I want to be a patron of what is existing in the land. I want people to connect deeper with the land. I want them to have these authentic experiences and opportunities. It means so much to me, period. Right. So we're going to Bali and we've been able to do this. We have all of these local healers that are coming to work with us, and us being able to go to these sacred temples and do these water purification ceremonies and to do all of these different things that I'm like, yes, we're like in the space. We're not just like circumventing it or saying like, oh, we're at Bali, but like we're in it. We are in it. Also, as I say that, I'm a little bit bougie,
I love this about you.
slightly bougie. Like I'll live in an RV, but it's gonna be the nicest RV you've ever seen. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like,
you're better than me. I can't live in an RV. I'll be in the Four Seasons next door.
okay, well, great. So when we're going to Bali, we're actually staying at a five-star resort the whole time. It's like I want to make sure that everybody is comfortable. I want to be comfortable. I want to be surrounded by beauty and nature, and I want to be well taken care of so that we can then have these experiences, right? We're not worrying about how do we set up our tent at night? Where are we going to get our next meal kind of thing? No, we're like, can we order room service? Like, is this wonderful? Like, we're well taken care of so then we can do the actual work like we're talking about. We can do those internal things. We can have those conversations. We can allow ourselves to kind of even investigate and transcend into these upper levels of consciousness because our baselines are all met, right? And any retreat I do, it is so important to me that that's always kind of the baseline. And even before Bali, oh my God, I don't even think I told you this because it's not even out yet. Exclusive here. I'm sharing this with you.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. I am hosting a I don't even know what to call it yet. I don't have a page that you can buy it. I have no information about it, but I'm sharing it with you anyways. In June, in the beginning of June, I'm hosting an event. It's called Spiritual Safari, and it's going to be in Texas. It is a 3-day event, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and it is in a ranch that's a conservation ranch. So they have giraffes and zebras and kangaroos and sloths and capybaras, and the animals, I don't even remember what their names are. They're like, they have the big horns, and it's this amazing place. It's like 400 acres of space for these animals to be like well cared for. And we get the opportunity to go in and be with the animals and have this like sacred experience. And we're doing cacao ceremonies, and I have sound healers that I'm actually bringing in. Some that have worked with me in Costa Rica actually are coming in to play there. And we have all these beautiful workshops and sessions about manifesting, and such a powerful space. It's like a mini retreat. Instead of it being like a 7 day retreat, you're there for 3 days, and it's just, you're getting so much in those 3 days. And I'm so excited about it. And yeah, it's going to happen in the beginning of June if anybody's interested. It's called Spiritual Safari.
Bet
Um,
in on it.
I'm so excited about it. And you know what? This actually came to be because I had a cosmovision about it. It came to me, it just came to me that I had to do this event. And I've never hosted a 3 day event. I've always hosted like 7 days, 10 day events kind of thing. But it was like, no, you need to host a weekend event. I was like, all right, whatever. And then I was like, okay, fine, maybe I'll host it like in New York, Pennsylvania kind of stuff. And I looked up a bunch of places. Nothing was available that kind that I wanted, right? And it kept coming to me, it has to be these dates, it has to be these dates. And I was like, why? I don't understand. I don't understand. So I kept looking for these dates. Everything was booked out everywhere else. I talked to my astrologer. Right. And she was like, she was doing my roadmap for the year. And she was like, these dates, like certain dates means this, watch out for this kind of thing, which I love. That's the kind of, astrological guidance that I'm always looking for. I'm like, tell me the dates, let me know, what do I need to do? What do I need to watch out for? She's great. She does that all for me. Um, and it was the date in the beginning of June. She was like, this date, you need to be doing something amazing. This is the date that if you were giving a
What is
speech
it,
on
like
stage
June
or something.
5th?
Yes, it's June
Yeah,
6th.
it's
June
it's
6th, yes.
yeah, like that little
You
space
knew,
is.
you knew too. And then I was like, that's crazy, right? So then I went to this conservation place, this ranch with one of my friends' events, and I was like, this energy feels incredible. I would love to host it here. I talked to the owner, and he's like, we don't really do that, but you're so passionate about this. I'm gonna say yes. And I was like, oh my God, this is wild.
You're definitely a person that people don't say no to, and I love that. And I'm like, teach us your ways.
Yeah,
Make You're just
every,
like you're tenacious. And like but like in the most joyful, enthusiastic way,
hmm.
which
Tenacious is a good
is
word. I'll
yeah.
take tenacious.
Okay, I mean it with like so much like love and reverence.
Yeah, I think that sometimes I just get so engulfed in an idea, and because I feel it, right? I feel this idea of the spiritual safari coming out of me, and I can't explain it, and it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to do this, but I'm so pulled by this idea that I had to do this that came to me. It's not even that I created it, it came to me. And then every person that I talked to was like, the only weekend I have available is that weekend. I'm like, that's the weekend. It was again and again and again and again. And like, I think we're gonna launch the tickets opening like next week or something. So you should come.
I mean, maybe we will. I don't know. I so for me this year, the like message for me was to not plan anything.
Mm.
Like I didn't even make a vision board this year. This was the first year where like my
Whoa,
my spirit guides were like, "Girl, you're going to go deep into your inner mystic, and the only thing that you can like do and plan are these like conversations."
cool. I love that that you're listening to this. You're like
I'm just like,
going for it. Mm.
yeah. It's been a long time. Like I usually am like so I love to plan. Oh, do I love to plan? And this year it was just like, nope, there's no plan. And anytime I would try to like sneak around it and like do something, like it was just like block after block after block. And like, and me just feeling um unprofessional canceling things. And I was like, you know what, I'm
Oh,
just gonna listen and be in the mystery and I'm just gonna trust the mystery and follow it and let it like take me.
I always feel like everything you have to say is so valuable that it just makes me feel sad that you would ever like not say something. I don't know, that you would ever cancel an event or not show up or not do some, I don't know. I just feel like literally every word that comes out of your mouth is just so beautiful, and I get so much out of it. And I'm not just saying that because we're friends. I'm saying it because like it's real, and I think that people can feel that, right? Like there's so much value in the things that you say and how you teach, and just everything you do. I find it so educational. I don't know, empowering, entertaining. I don't know the word, but that's a good word, I promise. So,
It feels like there's just like something else that I need to be well rested for.
okay, let's see.
Also, like the universe likes to hide things in front of my face.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So I'm excited for when it reveals itself.
I think it's also really important that you stick with your intuition, even if you're just like, I could be doing all these things, but I'm getting called to do nothing. Then that's absolutely what you need to do. Because guess what? I was in the space of like, I want to do nothing this year. And then I felt like so called to do all the shit. And now I'm doing all of this shit.
And I
And
was the opposite.
but it's like I don't know. And you know what? Sometimes too, I feel like we're supported in whatever we're supposed to be doing. So it's like if I feel like I'm doing all the shit, and I was saying like all these things are coming together because I'm in alignment. If you feel like you need to be going inward and being rested and whatever, all of the things are supporting you in that space. It's like, yeah, exactly.
And it's so hard to be in those spaces because you open any social media app and it's just like everybody doing all the things. We all feel like so behind and we're like, oh my god, I gotta like what can I put together, where am I supposed to, and then it just feels like chaos. And
Yeah.
that's like my knowing when I'm starting to like feel like I'm treading water and just like slowly drowning. That's like hands off the wheel.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Carissa in the chat, she's saying going with the flow versus fighting the path of energy. Yeah, that's absolutely
Oh
true.
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I need to like be looking at the chat.
I don't know. It's just popping up for me, so I
Oh, I
don't.
love that. I'm like, we're like chatting and like I'm missing things. Yes. Oh, Chris also said earlier, the beauty of motherhood, definitely a perspective change and a season of giving grace and understanding.
Absolutely, absolutely. And and for a while, I felt like I was surviving motherhood, if that makes sense. But it was.
As a matter as a matter of fact, Latha, as I sit here with my giant selenite while my
It's so
baby takes a nap.
I got my giant. I always keep it near me when I'm on like calls and stuff.
Yes.
I have like
My
so
kids
many
are
little all my stuff, and I'm like, it's here. Um, for a long, long time, I felt like I was surviving motherhood, and I was just like, this, this can't be, this can't be what it's like. It has to be different. And then like slowly it started to shift, and now, I mean, I don't think I think I feel like I'm thriving through motherhood. That's what I'll say. And guess what? My kids this morning broke a bunch of dishes and like,
oh
make a mess and,
yeah.
sometimes get upset and cry because I didn't give them a hug or whatever. And I'm like, dude, you weren't even around me for the past hour. And then as soon as I see them, they're like, you didn't give me a hug, mom. And I'm like, I just didn't see you yet. Yeah, all of that is still
It's
true.
that.
It's still true. And I've just shifted my perspective to saying this is what thriving looks like, you know?
I love that. I feel like for me, the getting through the surviving motherhood and
Hmm.
like this season of life, EFT tapping,
Yes, I love EFT. Yes. Yes.
because, and it really has helped me to kind of uncover just patterns of like, oh, I didn't realize that like I was just kind of mimicking what I experienced by watching my mother.
Mm, yes.
And I was like, this isn't even mine.
No.
And I tapped it out. And I was like,
Be gone.
bibbidi bobbidi boo. I love this season of life. Like, and
Yes.
now every day I'm like, what are we going to do today that's like an audacious amount of fun?
Yes. Oh God, yes. I love that. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's such a good point because it's like the only idea of anything we have is the experience that we've had previously. So if we've experienced motherhood from the view of a child and our mother, then we think like that's what it is and that's what we start to create until we do it and we're like,
Unconsciously.
ew.
And you don't
It's
even realize that you're doing it.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. I totally went through that too. Many, I still periodically, I'll open my mouth and I'm like, my mom just came out. Like this was, oh, that was not me, And I gotta do the cleanup work and apologize and call it back and fix and do what it is that I need to do to make it better.
Yes. Carissa just asked in the chat, she said, I want a giant wand of selenite or black tourmaline. Which should I get first? Friend, get you both. They're both. I'm like, you don't need to, like,
You don't need to
honestly,
pick.
and honestly, selenite is like surprisingly one of the least expensive.
hmm
I feel like this big one was like $15.
I was gonna say for sure this was under
Like
20
they're,
bucks. I don't.
yeah, like they're, it's not expensive. You can get it and it's so good. But yeah, I always keep tourmaline with me
hmm
because protecting your energy. I think that's
So
also a
important.
huge. Before I hop on these lives or before I get on a Zoom with a client, I always make sure that like my my cards are cleansed, my energy is cleansed, this setting a sacred space, putting us in our protective bubble.
Yes, my bubble, always. It's important because you know what? The clarity that you come into a conversation with is so important for that conversation. If I come in with all my gunk, or if I come in completely like unprotected and then I take on the gunk of whoever else is there, girl,
You're just like exhausted afterwards.
drained, drained. I don't have time for that. I
No.
got too many amazing things to do and create in the world. I don't have time for that. No.
And I also love and appreciate you coming and having this little like chit chat with me because I think like a lot
Yes.
of times too people still put people on pedestals
Mhm.
and think like, oh, she's so amazing. She has such a huge following. She's doing all these great things in the world. Like, I'm just starting out. How am I ever gonna, and they're comparing their chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 33.
Mhm.
And it's like you are a normal person of,
Normal.
you are normal is a relative word, but you're a human person.
Yes, I promise you, I'm a human person. And yeah, I mean, I always try to do stuff like anytime I get a podcast request, I might not be able to do it within a 4 week time span, but I'm like, look, I got a spot in April and let's get it. And I'm like, if you work with me, I'll work with you because it matters to me. I don't
Yeah.
want to be inaccessible, right? Like I want people to understand like I'm a human being too. I want to
Yeah.
connect with you. I
Yeah.
want to be able to share a conversation that's going to be impactful on all the different levels. If someone just starting out on their podcast, bigger podcast, like whoever, I want to be there and I want to talk to you. And I think it's important, to be able to connect with people and especially to you. I'm like, girl, like I said, you could ask me to come on anything and I'd be like, sure, let's do it. Like let's go. Let's make it happen. So yeah. And oh my gosh, I was at a bookstore in I think it was Santa Monica in California, and I saw your book through the window. The bookstore wasn't even open, and I was so excited. And I was like trying to take a picture, but it was so reflective. I was like, this isn't even a good picture to take. Because I had gone for a walk early in the morning and the store hadn't opened yet, but I was like, I'm gonna come back. I never did. But I saw your book and I was like, oh my God,
Thank
send me my
you.
book. I was so excited. My friends were like, okay, chill out.
I feel that way too. Like when I see your books. Again, for anybody who's watching this that doesn't know Latha, we met when you were writing the Law of Attraction Manifestation Journal.
Yep. Yeah. Since then, I've written another book. Look at me being handy with my books here. Oh, yeah,
Oh,
you did it too.
dear
Okay.
friend, I'm like, let's talk about shadow work, the
Shadow
shadow
work.
work
Yep.
journal for self care.
Yep. And I have a third book coming out,
I
actually.
didn't know if we could talk about it. I was like,
Oh,
I forgot to ask you ahead of time if like we could
I
talk about
think
your book.
I think so because it's like it's moving, I'll tell you that much. Um,
Okay.
it is coming out, I think soon, eventually this year, possibly. I'm done writing it, which was like this huge,
Mm.
labor of love to write a book.
Friend, I get it.
Yeah, and it's like a full on book. These other two books that I wrote were beautiful and intentional, but a lot of it was a journal, right? So it's a lot of like intentional
Yeah, these are
exercises
two.
and stuff like that.
Yes.
The book that I've written now is an actual like full on book. It's guidance to the core. It is like I said, a labor of love. I put so much work into it. I think it's going to be very impactful. It's all about manifesting, but it's a lot about what we were talking about increasing our own internal capacity. I've integrated so much beautiful neuroscience into it. I think that it's important that people understand manifestation from a scientific lens. I think that that's super, super important because I want people to see that it's not just something that's woo woo and unattainable, but it's like actually based in science and biology and who you are as a human being.
It's a
So yeah,
lifestyle. It's
it
not just a
is.
like,
It
I
is.
want this one thing. I'm going to try these techniques. It is, you can absolutely change your entire life and continually living it as a lifestyle and like pushing yourself to grow, to meet your growth edges
Absolutely.
and like
Absolutely.
expand into those like next level versions of you. I'm still going to talk with my selenite one. Sorry.
Yes. Yeah.
Continue.
Me too. And it's like and it's absolutely like a mindset shift that happens for you when you step into being in the space of manifesting. So the book's called 24/7 Manifestation, and it's like, yeah, absolutely, because you are manifesting 24/7. So it's like
Yep.
really stepping into the energy of that and working with that, right? It's so powerful, and I'm really excited for people to be able to
I'm
read it and
excited.
access it and get triggered by it and all the things. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm writing it with Wiley, so Wiley's my publisher, and I will absolutely let people know when it's out. So hopefully, I'll post a shit ton of stuff, I'm sure, and just really
It
promote
won't be
it.
quiet.
It will not be quite, you will hear about it for sure. Yeah, but if anybody that doesn't follow me, if you can follow me on Instagram, I'll definitely be posting it there. I'm on TikTok, on Facebook, I'm on Snapchat even now, and Pinterest. I've got all the things. Find me. This is what I look like, and all of my pictures probably look like this or this with long hair. I did shave my head last year, so maybe that would be a kind of thing. But yeah,
Yeah, I love that whole journey that you went on with shaving your head. It was so powerful.
it was a
You're
journey.
just, yeah, you just like really go for it and you bring everybody along with you. And
Mm,
that, like, bringing people into your world in that way is, I think, part of what makes you so special.
thank you. I appreciate that. Sometimes I question if I should because it's a little chaotic. I'm always like, should I make a video about this?
Yes, always.
On that path. So I had walked this pilgrimage in Spain. It's called the El Camino, 100 miles. During that walk, I had split my calf. It rained every day. I was sad. I cried most of the time. Like it was a fucking journey, right?
Yeah.
But I'm so grateful that I did it. I'm so grateful that I did it and was able to like persevere. And I learned so much along the way. And the people that I met, oh my gosh, it was so impactful. And I just had so many like moment after moment after moment, just transformations happening within myself. Of even those little things, like I was carrying some self judgment towards somebody, and then I was able to relate to let that go. It was just so much expansion that happened. And at the end of the trip, I decided to shave my head. Not everybody does, but I just wanted to, why I did it? I wanted to mark the transition between an old me and a new version of me. And that's exactly what that was. That was exactly what it was.
I love that.
Mhm.
And that is, when we talk about like the neuroscience behind identity shifts and, being in that kind of, I have a chapter in my book, my manifestation book, about being in like the cosmic waiting room
Mhm. Oh, I
and
love
how
that.
you, and like how you handle that. I mean,
Mhm.
mine is heavily on, working with tarot to help yourself like get back into your intuition and not like outsourcing validation. But, I think the easiest identity shifting thing you can do is a makeover of some sort.
Yes.
Is
Yes.
being willing to shed like a physical um security blanket part of yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I agree. And I think hair
And
is almost the easiest one to do.
yeah, hair, or changing, like getting rid of things in your closet that like you're hanging on to this thing because it reminds you of a version of yourself that you miss,
Mm-hmm.
but you're never gonna like, get back into that thing ever again. Or like,
Mm-hmm.
even if you even if you were, it wouldn't, feel right. And
Mm-hmm.
just being able to like part ways with those things.
Absolutely. I also think of that physical change, the identity shift to happen when people lose weight. It's like
Yeah.
you are really like letting go of something. And to do that, to have it sustainable, like you have to change into a new identity. You have to step into someone else, of who you are. And it's really interesting, this whole conversation about weight loss, because, now with Ozempic and I don't know what else, like the shots and stuff like that, people are like, oh, it's like a cop out. And for me, I'm like, it's never a cop out. I don't know what the details of those medications are or anything like that, but I'm like, if someone is willing to do that to achieve this new sense of self and who they are, and to feel that they're healthier or be able to move easier or whatever, I'm like, fuck it, I don't care. Like, it's between you and your doctor. Like, you do whatever you need to do to feel, that you can be who you are and what you feel is good for you in your life, and step into that new identity, that new version of you. I actually have a lot of clients who have, dropped a significant amount of weight. I think like one was 60 pounds and the other one was like over 100 pounds, right? And this is the span of like a year and a half kind of thing. Not like over 15 years, but like a year and a half. To drop over 100 pounds is like wild. It's like you are absolutely a new person. And to be in that space of just identifying that and creating the new identity so that you can continue to maintain that, it's huge. It's like,
Yeah.
it's huge.
People hate on, people who decide to get bangs when they go through a breakup or
Mhm.
whatever, but it's like like those are low commitment ways of trying on a new identity.
For sure. Or changing your hair color, or getting like a
Getting
new
new glasses.
glasses. Yeah, getting new glasses. My husband does that. Or like a new symbol, like a symbolic like baseball hat, or even a new outfit, right? That's maybe like a little edgier or a different in style than what you used to usually dress like. That's also you kind of stepping into this new identity, a new pair of shoes. Maybe you always wear sandals and now you're getting knee-high boots, and it's like, who's that?
Yeah.
Who's that
But
version?
like, though, again, these are like small ways
Mhm.
to work with your nervous system to handle bigger expansions,
Mhm.
especially like with weight loss. What comes with that, just being a person who's, really fluctuated
Me too. Yeah.
in weight, people treating you different after you've lost the weight, and then how that plays into your self-esteem and your sense of self-worth.
Yes.
So like, was I not good enough before? And I still am that person on the inside. Like
Absolutely.
there's a lot of layers to
There's
work
so
through
much that
identity
happens.
wise.
Yeah, there's so much that happens with weight loss. And I mean, it's like it's this whole it's its own field. Yeah. Me too. I've been a fluctuation of probably like 100 pounds in my adult life, one way or another. And it's like I've even made videos about this where I'm like, oh, I lost 70 pounds. And then like, a couple months later, I'm like, oh, well, now it's like 40, or whatever the case is. It goes up and down and it changes so much. But sometimes being visible and in the public eye and then having a change that's dramatic in your appearance, people can be so judgmental about it.
And and we have definitely, like, media conditions us
Absolutely. Absolutely.
to put, your sense of self-worth on pedophilia beauty
What?
standards. But I said
Like what?
pedophiliac beauty standards,
What?
but I won't get into that conversation
Oh,
because
okay. I
we're
see what you're
keeping it
saying.
light. But just like, also, if you put on weight, giving yourself permission to take up space and
For sure.
to, like, it's both ways. A lot of people gain weight, and then they're like, have trouble accepting that identity, like putting on weight, getting pregnant.
Oh
Like,
my
I
God.
had to do, I feel like whenever I'm manifesting something, I go through like this whole protocol. I go on manifestation walks where I work on just speaking directly to like my inner child and my nervous system and getting myself primed and ready for the next level of like, hey, this is what's going to happen. Like we need to like get on board with it. So I had to like really sit down and have a big conversation of like, I could put on 100 pounds
Yeah.
after years and years and years and years and years of trying to like maintain a specific
Yep.
body weight, like, and not get pregnant. And now it's like, okay, now I'm
Oh my
trying to
God,
get
yes.
pregnant.
Oh my God, yes.
And I
Yeah.
have to like get my mind on board with that and my body like feeling safe for that. So there's so many things.
So much. There's so much. Yeah. No, I can really relate to what you're saying there, especially the part about like, I grew up in a very strict household and I, every moment of my adult, I say like as a woman, I felt like I cannot get pregnant no matter what I'm doing or who I'm with. Like it was just like out of anything I could consider to get pregnant and like not be married. And then even after I was married, when I first got pregnant, I was like, do I tell my parents about this? Like, oh
Oh,
my God.
I didn't tell my parents. And I got pregnant at 40 and I was and I was married and I was still afraid to tell my parents. I was fucking terrified. Like
Yes.
there's there's so much, like I'm so excited to read your book because there's just so many things like we could talk about of like the identity shifts and different lifetimes that we expand into within our lifetime.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm really
And
excited
I
about the book. Mhm.
like I don't want to like keep you too much longer because I know like we've been
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
You and I can we can yap when we get together.
We're yappers. Yes, we are.
We're yappers.
It's okay. I identify as a yapper. I'm totally fine
Same.
with that. So it's all good. I was gonna say that in the book, I loved it because I include like a lot of stories from my clients. And I don't know, every time I read it, I'm like, oh my God, yes, I remember. Like this person did so good. I had to change some of the names, but um I'm not even that like eloquent to change the name. It was like I changed names from like one T name to another T name. Kind of thing. But yeah, I just love it because I feel like that makes it so much more personable to understand like, wait, someone else did this. I can do it too. It is accessible. Things do happen. And we don't always understand that as possible because we can't see the possibility of it. We
Right.
don't know how we're getting to that island. We don't know that we're gonna get how we're doing that because it seems like so far-fetched. I don't know how spiritual safari was gonna happen, but I had faith, right? I have faith. I can see the event. I got no idea how I'm getting from here to there, but I'm gonna figure it out. It's gonna happen, and I'm gonna bring 100 people with me. So let's go.
I love it. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah. So I guess when this uploads, or I will put, your information in it so like
Cool.
everybody can find you, find all your books. Like you
Yeah.
have such diverse resources.
Thanks.
Like there's so many
Oh.
amazing ways to connect with you.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely. And I always try to do that like on purpose because I just feel like some people are not going to be into, coming to Costa Rica on a retreat, but they'll be totally down to like buy a book at Five Below or,
Yeah.
wherever. And I'm like, cool. If that's the accessibility point, like
Yes.
get in here. I just want people to understand that there's a world out there that can feel different for them,
Yeah.
that they can go after their dreams, that they can feel empowered and capable and magical. I want everybody to feel magical.
Even when the world looks like it's on fire,
Hmm.
magic still exists. And
Absolutely.
people are doing incredible things. And that's another, like, to be expansive and to show people what's possible is also another point of our chitty chat.
Really. And the thing is too, like when you understand that magic exists, when you understand that you're magic and you can cultivate magic with other people, like you are the shifting point of the world, right? There's like it's like so easy to get caught up in the doom and gloom and the terror and the negative. It's like, wow, but you standing in your strength and your magic and your positivity and your love, that is just as infectious, right? That is
Yeah.
just as powerful, if not more powerful. So I always want to encourage people to do that. And that doesn't mean overstepping or ignoring, but it just means like be your brightness, be your magical self. That's it. So
Yay. All right, my darling.
thanks.
We'll wrap this up because I'm sure I don't even know what's happening with my child, but I feel like I need to check on her.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta go find mine too. So All right, everyone. I love you
All
guys.
right.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
being
guys so
here.
much for being here. Latha, thank you so much. I appreciate everybody who came and commented in the chat. I'm so appreciative.
Yeah.
I love you dearly. And yeah, go follow Latha. Get her books. Let's go to the safari. We'll see you in June.
Yeah. See you guys in June. All right. I'll see
I
you
love it.
later. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.